Education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, hope breeds peace. Good morning, children. I'm happy to welcome you back to today's class. In today's class, we are going to see the second prose of the second unit, and the name of the prose is The Wind on Haunted Hill. Since we do not have the textbook, I'm not going to go line by line. I'm going to give you a gist first and then we will proceed with the summary. Please listen to the story carefully so that you will be able to understand the lesson completely. In this part of the video, we are completing the first part and half of the second part. We will continue doing the rest in the next video. Listen carefully, children. I want you to be very attentive when I tell you the story. The wind on the haunted hill. The wild wind pushes open windows, chokes chimneys, and blows away clothes as it huffs and puffs over the village of the haunted hill, where Usha, Suresh, and Binya live. It's even more mighty the day Usha is on her way back from the bazaar. A deep rumble echoes down the slope, and a sudden flash of lightning lights up the valley as fat drops came down running. In search of shelter, Usha rushes into the ruins of the haunted hill, grim and creepy against the dark sky. Inside the tin roof, groans, strangled shadows are thrown against the wall, and little Usha shivers with fear, for she isn't alone. A gritty, hair-raising story about friendship, courage, and survival. This stunning edition will introduce a lot of young readers to the magic of Ruskin Bond's craft. Have you heard the sound of wind? It sounds hoo, hoo, hoo. The author of the story, Ruskin Bond, tells about the Himalayan region full of snow where we have tall pines and deodar trees. The sound of the wind is heard all over the hills. He is describing a hill which is haunted, as a few years back people were living there and now there is no one except a few trees and bushes. The hill next to this haunted hill had a small village on its slopes. This village had wind blowing heavily all through the year. So people use large stones on the roofs so that they don't get blown away. Whether sunny or cold, there is always wind blowing, doors and windows rattling, chimneys choking, and clothes flying away. In this village, there were 3 children drying their clothes. Usha was one of them and the main character of this lesson. She had dark brown hair and rosy cheeks. She was just 12 years old. She had a younger brother, Suresh, who was 8 years old. She also had a friend named Binya, who was her neighbor. All the 3 were drying clothes and having a happy conversation, sitting on a flat stone, looking at the fields and the ruined haunted hill. Usha told Binya and Suresh that she wanted to go to the bazaar. Binya wanted to accompany her but could not as her mother was sick, and so she had to do all the household chores. Suresh was ready to go, but his grandfather had asked him to help him in cutting the wood. Usha and Suresh's father was an army man, and so grandfather and Suresh were the only men in the family. Suresh was worried if Usha could come back alone from the market. But Usha wasn't worried, as she often went to the town alone. But Suresh told her that there were ghosts on the hill. Usha said she would be back early and ghosts would not wander during day. Binya asked if there were ghosts at the ruins. Usha said that their grandfather told stories of people who lived on the haunted hill. The place was not safe as lightning often struck there. So the people moved from there to the next range. But Banya wanted to know why ghosts would be there. Usha said that once a heavy lightning struck the hill and a family was killed in one of the houses. Even the children were killed. It was a brother and a sister. Her grandfather had seen the children many times playing on the hill. Binya asked if her grandfather wasn't afraid, and Usha said that old people did not have much fear. Usha started walking to the market around 2 p.m. She had to walk an hour to reach the market. She walked through the mustard fields and then through the ruins. Usha knew the route very well as she always went shopping and to her aunt's house in that route. Usha enjoyed the sight of plants, wildflowers, and insects on her way and crossed the ruins and reached the market town down the valley. Usha purchased some soap, matchboxes, spices, sugar, and a new pipe stem for her grandfather's hookah, a math exercise book for Suresh, and even some marbles. She then went to the cobbler to mend her mother's slippers, but the cobbler was very busy and asked her to come after half an hour. Usha had saved 2 rupees for herself and she used it to buy amber-colored bead necklace from a Tibetan lady who sold charms, trinkets at the end of the market. Meanwhile, Usha met her aunt who took her home to have some tea. Usha spent almost an hour listening to her aunt who told her about her ailments. She had 2 cups of tea, and when she looked out at the window, she could see black clouds gathering. Usha ran to the cobbler, picked up her mother's slippers, and was running back to her village as it was already dark and late. Suddenly, to her surprise, there was no wind, the trees were standstill, and the crickets were silent. Usha walked very fast and wanted to reach home before it was dark. The clouds were black on the haunted hill, and March always had storms. There was rumble of thunder, and Usha felt the first raindrop on her cheek. Usha did not carry an umbrella as the weather was perfect when she started. So she took her scarf and tied it over her head and pulled her shawl across her shoulders. She held her shopping bag close to her body and walked fast, but the rain had already started and it was heavy too. Suddenly there was a bolt of lightning and she could see the ruins. Again it was completely dark as it became night. Usha was now sure that she could not reach home as the storm was heavy. She had to take shelter somewhere. The ruins were only a few feet away. The wind started with rain and hit her on her face. It was cold, and due to rain, she was hardly able to open her eyes. Now the wind grew more and was being pushed by the strong wind. There was another thunder and lightning, and she could see the ruins, unsympathetic and unwelcoming. Usha knew that there was a roof on one corner that can give her some shelter. That would be better than proceeding towards the village. It was very dark and she had to go through the rocky cliff. Usha reached the ruins with the help of the lightning and some memory. She moved along the wall to reach the place to hide from the wind. She walked through the wind and slowly moved sideways. She touched something soft and with a startle she screamed and removed her hand and something ran away. It was just a wild cat. Usha was now clear after she heard the cat's cry as a cat lived there. But Usha was very scared and started moving quickly towards the roof. She heard the rain on the roof, making heavy noise like a drum. Usha tried to find a place away from the wind. Usha remembered that there was a chimney and it was clogged and decided to take shelter under it. It would be drier over there and she wanted to go there. But she wanted to take some time as she might lose her way altogether. She was wet, her clothes were soaked, and water dripped from her hair. She stamped her feet to keep herself warm. Till this time, Usha did not remember about any ghost as she was doing things unplanned. But now, being in one place, she suddenly remembered grandfather's story about the ruins. She prayed that lightning should not strike until she left the place. Heavy thunder and lightning struck almost every few seconds in a row. Okay children, with this we are completing half of the lesson. We will continue the second part in the next video. Here I have given you a list of glossary, so learn the meanings by heart. This will be your homework. There will be 2 sets of meanings given to you. Learn all the 2 sets of meanings. Thank you girls.